it's Katherine from Brandequip Designs, and I just want to talk to you a little bit today about why I'm always using my business and my brand as an example in not only these What I Learned Today videos, but also in any of the articles that I'm sharing on my website, or a lot of the examples that I use are related to what I'm doing with my business. And the reason for this is, one, I want to protect my clients' privacy. So even though, I could use client projects as an example some of the time, it's really more to let that be theirs and not using something that I have such intimate knowledge with but isn't my own. So I'm doing that for them, I'm doing that for you. And then another reason is that when we put out examples of things, a lot of people like to use the big name brand examples. And don't get me wrong, it's great when you can and when you do. But for a lot of things with branding, it's about knowing what it is that you are trying to achieve and analyzing how well you are achieving that. So while I can analyze how well they are achieving something, or what certain aspects of the larger brands are achieving, it's hard to know if that's exactly what they were going for a lot of the time. So we can make guesses and we can point things out and study them, and that's really important to be doing as brand designers and strategists. But overall, like even that though, it's still just our conjecture unless you are able to actually get into their heads and interview them and talk with them about what's going on. So while I do use some examples from bigger companies, you'll find that a lot of times I'm using examples from my own business because it's something that I know very well. And I know what's going on behind the scenes, and I can look at how it's being achieved through the materials that I've created for it. And so it's actually really great to be able to do that because, it helps me want to push myself. Granted, that leads to me wanting to constantly be revamping it because I'm like, oh, we can do this better, we can do this better. And that's part of the blogging, kind of part of the blogging experience, I feel like, is that not only is it going to position you as more of an expert because you are joining a conversation on these topics, but it's helping you to form opinions and look at yourself in a way, and your brand and what you're doing in a way that maybe you didn't really look at before. So it's a great way to form new ideas and really interact with what and kind of step back for a bit and say, am I actually applying this to myself very well? So I do that a lot with my brand. Whenever I'm writing a new article, I'm like, oh, am I doing that well enough? Or is that something I could work on? And if it's something I can work on, it goes on my list of TBD sometime down the road. So there's a lot going on. Things are often evolving because, as we're doing this more and more, we get better and better and we learn more about it and stuff. And I believe that branding isn't something that, is one and done. It's something that really evolves over time. And it's something that you can never really stop learning about. It's never going to be, oh, I know everything. Like, how can you know everything? That doesn't happen. So that's just kind of one of the reasons why I like to use my business a lot. Just to recap, it's because I am protecting my clients' privacy. I don't really want to pull in a lot of their examples without their express permission for it. And also because I can get behind the head of where this is going and kind of analyze the results and where it was coming from. Whereas with the big companies, we can analyze the results, but we can't know for sure what the intention was with that unless we get in their heads with an interview. So maybe that will be down the line, but at the moment, not happening as much. So we'll be doing my brand examples for articles and What I Learned Today and basically most things that need a visual example. And I will leave that with you for today. So, give that some thought. Like I said, blogging is super great for your own development, not just for, creating content to speak with people. It's, a way to kind of challenge yourself, I like to think. At least that's how I view it. It's like, am I doing this well enough? Like, if I am putting this idea out there, I better be backing it up in what I'm doing. And so that's kind of where integrity comes into play with your branding. I know a lot of people talk about authenticity, But I would say no, authenticity doesn't really mean much on its own. You want to be authentically something. And so what I think would mean more is if you're to be have integrity in your brand. So part of being a brand with integrity is to not only say what you want to, what you believe in, but actually apply it to yourself and do it for yourself, and don't just say it, do it. Like your actions speak louder than words. So you want to make sure that your actions are lining up with your words, and that goes for your visuals as well. So that is it for today, and I hope that this has been helpful, or at least you can understand kind of why I talk so much about my business. It's really just to protect other people's privacy, and because I can access, the inner workings of the brand, the ideas behind it, and look at the results. And sometimes I will admit I can do better with my own branding, and I look at that and it hurts, and I'm like, oh, I really want to work on this. And it's all about just finding the right times to do that and not letting yourself lose focus. So if it doesn't always match up with what I'm saying, it's because I haven't had a chance to update it yet since I formed that idea or opinion, or realized that I had that idea. I know that one time I wrote an article on letting your brand be a bit more gender specific, which I believe is not a really popular way to look at things these days, but it's still, a really important aspect to your business, to your brand, because it's not so much as trying to alienate people as to try and form, create a sense of community among the people who really respond well to you and who you really work best with. And so if you do work better with, women versus men, then that's okay. You don't have to say, I won't accept working with men. You just want to kind of cultivate a community that's more women-centric, because that's who you're going to be able to show up the best for. It's about how you can help them and who you can help the most, rather than just being there for everyone. So that's part of branding, it's part of marketing, it's part of positioning. It's really important to do. And when I was writing that article, actually, I did a revamp of the website, because I had been kind of unhappy with it. And once I was writing that, I was like, this is why I'm not happy with my current website. So I brightened it up, I lightened it up, and I was so much happier afterwards that I could show up with more integrity online with my branding. So that's just, another reason to start blogging. And don't be afraid to use yourself as an example. We love examples, so the more you can bring them in, the better. And if it has to be you, then that's okay. Don't worry about it. And I'm kind of doing that too. So we're in it together. I'll see you later. Bye.